Hey folks, my name is Chris Wessel and today we're going to be tying a Master Splinter mouse pattern. So today we're using mustad salt or stainless steel hooks, sorry. They're the 34007-SS hooks. We start by bringing our thread back from the eye, roughly this distance. Today I'm using UTC 140 thread. It's nice thin thread. I've really come to like this thread. Sorry, just a little vise adjustments there. So we're going to bring our thread back to the bend of the hook. And our first piece we're going to start off with is, so this is rabbit strips. I believe this is a brown, maybe this actually may be called a mouse color. And I take off roughly about that much. 2 inches is nice. What we're going to do with that, this is going to be the tail of the mouse. So we take it and we try not to rip it like that. So you're supposed to cut it. I've been kind of taking the lazy way out and stripping it off. Sometimes it works, sometimes it rips in half like you just seen. I'll try that again. Maybe I'll just cut it. You're basically trying to strip the hair off of this until you get to the tip and you leave a little patch. So up till now I've been pretty into tying my deer patterns, or sorry, my mouse patterns with deer hair. And I was having a chat with a couple guys on the shore tying partner team that I'm on. And down their way, they said this Master Splinter pattern is really good. It seems to be better than deer hair. It's a way better profile on the surface. And they prefer it. And plus it's easier to tie. It's quicker. So they kind of had me sold at that. So this tail, right about there, and just tie that in. You don't have to be really pretty with this. It's all going to be covered up. Just make sure you have it nice and secure because those fish can really rip these apart, especially when you're using these for predatory species such as pike or even brookies, really, especially in the fall when they start getting some larger teeth. So next what we're going to do is we took craft foam, and you can buy this stuff for like $1 a sheet at the dollar store or less. And we cut, that's more than a ½ inch, but we usually cut about 3/4 of an inch, ½ inch strip and taper it at one side. So we take our tapered side and we tie that in the back. And having strong thread for tying this pattern is pretty important because you're going to want to really make sure everything's tied in there nice and tight. And we just tie that down to the shank. Get rid of that. So we're going to take our other piece of this rabbit strip, and when we tie this in, you're going to want to do it upside down because you're going to be wrapping it over itself. So make sure you got that in there pretty secure. If I wasn't using this UTC 140, how many times I've just hit that hook point, the thread would have definitely broke by now. And you're going to bring your thread up to where you started. So we're going to wrap this rabbit strip around, and as we're doing so, like, you don't overlap it too much, but I just kind of overlap the edges a bit, and you brush back the fur as you're doing it. That way you're kind of ensuring that you don't get any fur stuck underneath. I tied these up the other night, and it was my first time tying them actually, and I was curious, so I filled up the sink with water and I dropped this sucker in, and it floated like a cork, and then I started playing around and trying to sink it, and I think this is exactly what we need for our brookies here in Newfoundland and Labrador. So we're going to leave a space up near the front of the hook, and we're just going to tie this off. Not going to worry about that. I'll get that all tied back. And we're just going to make sure that's all tied in nice. So now what we're going to do is, sometimes use a little toothbrush or something for this, but you can do it with your hands, is you just kind of part the hair right in the middle, have it coming off both sides. Lick your fingers a bit. If anybody ever wanted to test my DNA, it wouldn't be hard. Just buy a few flies off of me. Shouldn't be doing that though, I guess, with COVID-19 and stuff. So now once we get that folded over, we're going to want to bring this over, and this is our body of our mouse. This is like our mouse's life jacket. This is a small mouse. You can make these fairly large. For our brookies here, I strongly believe that this is going to be a really good size to use. So once we have that tied in, it seems like, give it a little check, you know, it seems pretty secure. You're going to want to fold that over, and this forms like almost like a head of the mouse, and if you're pulling it, it also keeps the weight coming off, like it won't dive. This will keep it up. So we just bring your thread over. Make sure you get lots of wraps. I mean, that could save you against some teeth. And we bring this up. You're gonna leave a little bit of a flap there, like so. And then we're gonna bring this down around the eye. And we're gonna whip finish. We're going to try to whip finish. Man. There we go. Just had to get the foam out of the way. And I over whip finished that, but it'll still go. All right, so we get that thread out of there. I like to, and this is like totally unnecessary, because if the fish can see this top part, then this fly isn't sitting properly on the water anyway. But I just, you know, I caught a couple of years in this. Kind of looks cool. Usually I would rotate my vise, but I want you guys to be able to see this, so there. Those are super uneven. My OCD's going crazy here. I'm just gonna end up making that worse. So I'll flip it over, and you can just kind of spread that out a bit. You want that to come around your hook. And this is kind of the hard part, because it's hard to reach everywhere, all your thread with head cement. So I just use the old needle nose bottle, and I'm using super watery head cement, so this will kind of leak into where I need it to go. And there we go. So that's it. That is a Master Splinter mouse. And apparently they're super effective. It's probably one of the best mouse patterns you can use. I'm really looking forward to trying this out this year. I've already tied up a bunch, and they're on their way to a customer shortly. So there you go. Thank you guys very much for watching, and stay tuned. We'll get some more videos out to you.